First story of the day is about the hamburger bonanza, as I'm calling it, at the White House. It's too good to be true as far as like the meme world. People don't know this about me because a lot of times I'm calm, cool, and collected. But if you watch more live streams, people could tell I could be funny sometimes. I'm a troll at heart. Like when I play video games, I love to troll, and just like trolling is an art I've held close to my heart for decades. So when I first saw the hamburger thing and Trump standing next to a bunch of hamburgers, he's like, "Yeah, we government shut down. We couldn't get any food, so we had to get hamburgers." I was like, "Oh my god, this is just great." The troll in me. Trump is one of the best Twitter trolls ever. The fact that he's in his 70s and he's so good at trolling, it's just epic. And he's the president. Like, this is a dream come true for me. So he's like, "I got Wendy's, I like them all," and he's like, he's pulling a Trump. He's like, "They're all American made. Wendy's, McDonald's, you can't beat them. They're all good. They're all made in America." I was like, "Oh my god, he really ordered fast food for the players." And then the spins on it are hilarious. I'm listening to both sides, and the liberal spin is like, "Oh, he's I guess they're like Sean King or whatever, he was like, the food was cold. The players were saying that the hamburgers were cold." And it's like, he's probably right, because McDonald's burgers or Wendy's burgers, I mean, they're only good for like the first 20, 30 minutes. Any longer than that, they are probably cold. And the fact that he ordered like thousands of them is just hilarious. And then the news was trying to say, because Trump, you know how Trump is, he's just like, they stack a mile high. And I think the Washington Post on Twitter, they did like a fact check, and they were like, "Fact check, all of the hamburgers do not stack a mile high." And it's like, we know that some speaking things are not meant to be taken for face value. Like, I get, it's not like the president, they ignore war. Like, it's not like he's declaring war on Iran. He's like, "It stacks a mile high," and they're like, "We got to fact check this or else it's going to start World War III. Like, they fact check something like that. We know it doesn't really stack a mile high, but thank you, Washington Post. We appreciate your valor. Another take was like, he said, "These are big boys, they like to eat a lot." And then someone was trying to say he was like fat shaming them or something, like, "Oh, he's saying that they eat a lot." It's like, of course they eat a lot. They're like 350 pounds. I mean, the O linemen and D linemen, I don't think they're ashamed of eating a lot. You can't be that big whether you're fat or you're strong. You need to be a little bit of both to be an O lineman or a D lineman. You can't get that big without eating. So it's pretty obvious. Like, The Rock is like, "I eat 27,000 pizzas a day." You're like, "All right, my man, relax." But he's 500 pounds of pure muscle. So it's what you got to do sometimes. You got to eat a lot. Like, it's all good. So the spins were hilarious. I mean, I saw some truthers on the right saying they were upset because, fast food is not the healthiest. They were saying, "I wish Trump would call out Monsanto for poisoning America." And valid point. Monsanto now merged with Bayer, both very sketchy companies, between Agent Orange and, gassing innocent people during the Nazi regime. Definitely, yeah, I'm very suspect of Monsanto and Bayer, but, it is what it is. And I do think, too, one of the things that's getting lost in what Trump did is that people were thinking, like, I mean, who really cares what the haters think, but they were trying to say that Trump was he bought the fast food because, like, he doesn't like people. I'm sure they tried to put some racist spin on it or something, but Trump, I legitimately think he actually loves fast food, and he drinks like a bunch of Diet Coke. So him doing that's not a blow at the Clemson Tigers. Like, Trump really enjoys the food. One of my favorite Trump quotes, this was when he was running for president. He said he was like nonstop eating McDonald's, and they were like, "Why are you eating so much fast food?" And he was like, "Well, a lot of people don't like me, so at least with this stuff, you get what you see." He's like, "I could trust it." So I thought that was hilarious and very genuine. I was like, the dude is afraid of getting poisoned because a lot of people don't like him. So he's eating a lot of McDonald's because he feels like it's a safer bet. I thought that was a hilarious quote. I mean, just overall, a great troll moment for the United States to troll America. You gotta love it. Maybe you don't. I also want to say, too, I'm personally trying to eat better. I don't eat that much fast food. But I do want to say, the more I look into stuff and I'm listening to people who've lived into their hundreds and such, I think one of the most important things to living a long life Might be genetics. I know people don't want to talk about, but like maybe it's in the DNA. Also, I think an important part of living long is like mental health and really being appreciative and things like that. Like stress and mental health can cause such a buildup in the body, and it can destroy you quicker than any sort of diet. Although I am trying to eat better myself, figure out what works for me and have more energy. I think Trump is a pretty mentally healthy guy, so he can get away with eating that, and he probably has good genes. And I think that's okay. They've done studies, I've watched documentaries as well, where some of the most happy societies in the world are not the most wealthy or well-eaten. It's just people who appreciate their families, they have communities. Some of the people who live the longest actually might not have the best diets. There's towns in Italy that have really long life, and there's a town of really old people, I forget in what country, where what made them live a long time is they had a good community of old people. So community is important, mental health is important, yes, diet is definitely important as well. But I just thought it was a funny move. I want to say before I move on, one of the mainstream media was saying, like, why didn't he just get catered food from his hotel? And I think that is a very valid point. It's like, why'd you go for all the fast food when you have a hotel down the street? And it's like, I mean, does Trump or no one in the White House has Uber Eats or something? You can't get like better food than that? I don't understand, but I do think it's hilarious and pretty harmless. Just another troll moment. And I want to wrap it up and say, now it's a legendary story for the Clemson Tigers. If they just went to the White House and ate like lobster or whatever, they'd be like, yeah, I went to the White House, we won the big bowl or whatever. But now it's like, that's an epic story for your grandchildren. You're like, I met Donald Trump in the White House and we all ate Big Macs. Like, he had Big Macs stacked to the ceiling a mile high. Like, that's such a way better story than eating lobster and like pasta with, a bunch of wealthy people. It's like eating McDonald's with Donald Trump at the White House. That's the best. I would eat 3 Big Macs if I got invited to the White House, and I'd have no shame. I'd go to the gym after, or I wouldn't. It is what it is. But pretty funny story. Just another great troll moment of Trump's presidency. I love it. I'm sure a lot of people didn't.